Fuck, where's my water? Hi, my name is Adriana and today we are going to be reorganizing my TBR shelf. So if you've watched any of my goals videos for this year, you would know that part of one of my goals is to reduce my TBR, my physical TBR, down to 16 books, which would mean I would have a lot of space in this shelf. But as you can currently see, it is packed to the gills. I will also put in a little clip of a straight on view. Unfortunately, my bed gets in the way of being able to see this, the straight on view, but she's a mess. And I think it's time we go through it, we pare it down, we get rid of a bunch of stuff in here that's not books, and we call it a day. Generally, the way I try to organize this is kind of by priority. I try to put this top shelf here with books I want to read pretty immediately, and then it just kind of comes into a mess down below. I've got a bunch of subscription book bags and a bunch of these book dart tins that I don't know what to do with, but I keep saving because I think I might use them for something. This isn't even all the books. I have another pile of books that's not even on there that need to be placed on this shelf. So I think the first step to this process is probably taking everything off and really being tough about what I allow back on. Let's go ahead and take everything off. Okay, here is the pile of everything all across the bed. But before I get into that, I think I want to take some time to dust these shelves off because they are looking a little crusty. Alright, now that the shelves are all cleaned off, I think I need to start with the non-book things that were on this shelf and really pare that down, decide whether it needs to go back on, go somewhere else, or go to Goodwill. I think I'll start with these big old padfolios that I have. I have 2 of them. Probably don't need 2 padfolios, so I need to decide which one I'm gonna keep. I think I'll be keeping the maroon one just because it's a little more my style than just this plain black one. So this will be going to Goodwill. But this padfolio doesn't really need to live on this shelf. I will find a spot for it in the office. I also have my diploma holder from college and I don't really know what to do with it because I keep my diploma in a nice frame now, but it's kind of a cool, unique memento, so I don't really know what to do with it. But again, does not need to be on this shelf. I also have this box of trinkets and things. It's got an old iPad mini case, but it doesn't have a spot to put my pencils, so I probably don't need this anymore. Goodwill. This is just garbage in my little trinket box. Here's another book darts tin. Maybe I'll put all the book darts tins inside this little trinket box. And again, I love this box. One of my sorority sisters made it for me, so I will be keeping it, but it probably doesn't need to go on this shelf. This is my old Kobo case that I had on for a while, but my Kobo is significantly lighter and more comfortable to read without it, especially now that I got my little pop socket. So I think this is another Goodwill. This is a book sleeve I got off Etsy recently, and I love it. So I do think I want to try to keep it somewhere on this shelf, just for when I am reading a hardcover book and want to take it with me on a weekend or whatever. It's right there where all my books are. Too tall. I have this little mug that I keep bookmarks and pencils and some reading lights and all that kind of stuff in. So I probably will be keeping this on here as well. And then my earplugs, I used to use these a lot when I was reading at night and my husband was in bed with me because he likes to watch videos on his phone and I like to read before bed. So I would put these in to help drown out the sound of his videos. But now that I have a better attention span, I can read without earplugs while the videos are going. So I will find a different place to put these. And then finally, the last non-bookish thing I had on here was this wine glass that again, another sorority sister made for me back in college. And I don't think it needs to be on this shelf. I will put it somewhere else. Just kidding. I have more things that were on this that weren't books. I have this cute Oh gosh. This cute picture of me and my grandma. I think I'd rather have this on my desk where I like see it more often. I think that's where it needs to go. I also have these little like wood cutouts of me and my husband's names from a wedding we went to. But like, I don't really know what to do with them. So I don't think they really need to be around anymore. So I think now that just leaves us with books. So I think where I want to start with is like my top shelf of stuff I know I want to read really soon, slash I'm going to read soon. I have plans to read soon, just to get those out of this mess. Okay, so here's this top shelf all done and put together with highest priority reads, and then also the dust cover of the book I'm currently reading. So I'm pretty happy with that setup. I think that's fine the way it is. And time to start going through the books. So let's make some decisions right here, right now. Let's start with a somewhat easy decision I have already made. So I actually have 2 copies of The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. Let's talk about it a little bit. So this one I got from my local indie bookstore because she had posted that she ordered it for somebody else, and I was like, well, I kind of want it now too, so I had her order a copy for me. And then this one came from Fairy Loot or Illumicrate, and like obviously it's beautiful, it has nice sprayed edges, it's got gold foiling, but honestly I think I prefer the American cover. It's just so much brighter and like more fun. So I think I will be selling this on my Pango books if you are interested, and I will be keeping this one. This is also another keep. Space opera sci-fi. Enough said. I want to keep it. This arc I talked about in my quarterly book haul. Again, I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it or not. It has all of these like multimedia hints and clues and fun stuff to look through. So I think I'm going to put it on a lower shelf just so it knows that it's on its way out. This is one that's a goal for me to read this year. So I'm going to put it on the second shelf, because that is more directly eye level, so it's staring at me in the face every time I go to bed at night, and I know it needs to get read. So this is a short story collection from one of my favorite authors, and a lot of the short stories are related to my favorite series, the Sigma Force series. And turns out I've actually already read one of these because I'm an idiot and bought one of the short stories instead of checking to see if it was in this book. So I think I'm actually going to move this over to my red shelf, and then as I go through the series, when I come across when that short story was originally published, I'll just pick this up and read it then. This is a book my boss gave me like 2 years ago. He gave it to like the entire management team and said we should all read it. And I don't know if any of us did, but it would probably take me less than an hour to read. So I should probably just read it, and then I can either get rid of it or put it on my red shelf. But like, it's just kind of ridiculous that this book is so small and I still have yet to try to read it. Alright, so before we go over the books I have up, let's look at the books on the chopping block. So all 3 of these, The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer, The Prague Sonata by Bradford Morrow, and The Malta Exchange by Steve Barry. I believe all 3 of these are from my parents' house, and I just don't think I'm going to get to them at any point in at least the next year. Especially considering this one is like way far into a series. I am going to give them back to my parents, and if I decide I want to read them later, I will grab it from them then. And then books that I'm straight up just not gonna put back on the shelf and not have anymore. I have The Rehearsals by Annette Christie. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I've just thought about picking it up like once and then just decided I really didn't want to. It just doesn't sound that interesting or special to me, so I want to get rid of it. But a problem I have with this one and the next one I'm talking about is that they're arcs, and I don't know how to get rid of them. So please put your ideas in the comments down below and let me know how the heck I'm supposed to get rid of an arc. So on that arc train, if we're being honest, I talked about this in my Q1 book haul. I said I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it or not. I now think I don't want to read it, so I think I'm gonna get rid of it, but I don't know how. So please, again, help. So this next one, I feel really bad about giving it away because it was a gift, but it was a gift from someone I don't know. So I used to be really into the Reddit gift exchanges. So I did a book themed one and I got Patrick Rothfuss's The Name of the Wind, the first one in the King Killer Chronicles? Whatever. I got this book. It is a huge epic fantasy, but from what I have heard, there's supposed to be a third one, I think, and the author is being really, really slow at getting the third one. I don't really want to start this, get all the way through this thick, chunky book, and have the series not be finished. So if Patrick Rothfuss ever finishes the series, I will just borrow it from the library. I don't really feel the need to hang on to this book, because I just, at this point, I'm not gonna read it. Another one I've just held on to for way too long is The First Sister by Lyndon Lewis. I bought this in kind of a binge shopping online excursion at Barnes & Noble, and I just, same thing like with the rehearsals, I've just thought about picking it up, but I've just never really been that interested, so she's going. This last one I feel a little bad about because I picked it up from my local indie, but that is Ball Lightning by Zixin Liu. I want to be a sci-fi girly so bad, but I just don't think I'm actually gonna read this. So I think I'm going to maybe try to sell it on my Pango books or do something with it, but I just don't think I'm gonna read it. I don't know, maybe I should hang on to it in case I really love Three Body Problem and I want more. You know what, I'm gonna put it next to that arc that I said I needed to know it's on the chopping block. I also need this to know it's on the chopping block, so it better be good. I'm gonna put it down here. We're gonna hold on to it. So I think that is all the books. So I'm gonna put some stuff back and then do some cleaning up and get back to you. Okay, so with that cleaned up, let's look at the organization. So starting from the tippy top, I have just my e-reader and my book sleeve. They can just vibe there, they're fine. We already went over this shelf, but again, this is just stuff that like I know I'm going to get to soon. Like this is the stuff I am reading next. Down here we have stuff I want to get to relatively soon, like it's my next kind of priority after I finish all these ones, as well as books I want to read but I need a little bit of extra motivation / me yelling at myself to actually do it. So the Odyssey and the Shadow of the Gods are actually specific goals I have set for myself this year that I want to read, and then Papisho is just one that I really want to get to, but it's chunky and seems too smart for me. With these, I still have space for my little coffee mug with all of my little trinkets and things. Next up is, you know, some booktube darlings that I need to get to at some point, but I just don't really want to prioritize right now. And then some other things I definitely do want to read at some point, but just aren't a priority for one reason or another. Down here, we get to the ones that are just like on the chopping block / like I may or may not read, who knows. And then the rest of them are stuff I am saving for one season or another, just stuff that's even less of a priority than this shelf. And then I still had a space at the bottom for my little trinket box and some of those bags. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I made some really good progress getting through this, did a lot of unhauling, made some tough choices, but I do feel good about this now. It is an all business shelf, no decorations or trinkets to be found. This is a serious reader's shelf. But hopefully this kind of helps streamline my thought process a little bit when it comes to prioritizing my physical TBR. Just kind of a little short little video of getting this shelf in better working order. So thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.